Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here. Sunday event. Raptors are going to play their last game of this West Coast road trip today against the NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 37-9 in their record this year. They did lose their last game to their finals opponent from last year, the Indiana Pacers, and Pascal Siakam going to Oklahoma City and beating them. That's amazing. I love that. I figure if the worst team in the Eastern Conference can beat the best team in the Western Conference, well, why can't one of the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference beat the best team in the Western Conference? Why not? In some ways, earlier this year, beating the Thunder would be like a huge mind thing to come over and try and beat, because it's like they just seem like unbeatable when they go on like crazy win streaks, and they only had like one loss for like the first 2 months of the season. Well, now there's a little bit more of a door open to envision defeating the Oklahoma City Thunder for the season. Somebody's going to thank Wemby and the Spurs for beating them 3 times in like a span of like 2 weeks last fall. These things help because honestly, that team's nasty. And the way that they've been winning like crazy, everybody's wondering, well, is anybody going to beat them? Are they going to be like that Bulls team? Are they going to be like that Warriors team and go get one of the highest win totals in NBA history for a season? Probably. It does seem like they're still on track to do some of that. Or who knows? Maybe they have a bad stretch and they start losing a bit more and they get off that pace. You don't know. The one thing I do know is that the Toronto Raptors have some of the best vibes ever seen in the history of the NBA for a team. Yeah. It's been evidence has been provided to us as of yesterday from an open gym episode that dropped Saturday in the around noon. That is one of the most, honestly, insider access open gym episodes in the whole history of the whole series. Seriously, they don't normally show so much with the team behind closed doors as far as locker room atmosphere, as far as huddles, as far as pregame prayer, as far as Darko coming in the morning for a morning meeting and saying, "What did we learn last night?" And Brandon raises his hand just like a kid in class and says, "We learned that if I do this, I go to the center and I'm more aggressive in this." This guy said, "I learned this." It's cool, man, to have that portal to see why our team is so good, because we saw it. Can't you see it in Darko's leadership in that open gym episode that came out yesterday? Do you hear how he talks to them? And do you hear how he inspires and how he directs to build and to grow over time? You can hear it in how he talks to them and what he's saying to them coming in from after games. Kudos to Open Gym for putting this episode out so quickly over this past week to be able to show this Western road trip right up to Portland's game on Friday and really show us, this is what's going on with them. This is why they are who they are. I love seeing Scotty in the huddle, talking what he's saying to the team and his direction. Listen to what he's saying and understand what we see on the court and just how effective he is as a floor general and leader for this team as far as he's doing what he's saying. He's going out there and walking the walk because he doesn't expect the other guys to do it unless he does it too, right? Yeah, no, it's an amazing episode. I in some ways, RJ's swag count, not totally necessary. It's kind of funny. He's coming through. But if that's true, that Emmanuel bought RJ his 9 pendant that he wears, like his necklace that he has the 9. If that's true, man, what a great friend. Seriously, that's what RJ said on the open gym episode yesterday, that Emmanuel quickly bought him his 9 that he wears when he's coming in the game. Oh, such a good open gym episode, honestly. I had to watch it a few times because it was so dense with the vibes and the goodness and why the Raptors are who they are right now and why they're doing so well. So well. They're doing so well, man. Raptors are doing so well. And like I said in the Discord after watching that open gym, This is the reason why we don't need to make any trades. This is the reason why all the trade talk is stupid, because look at what they're doing. Look at who they are and look what they're all about. That open gym episode didn't even have the crazy vibes celebration with the red jacket Raptors fans after the Portland game in it. But we did see the open gym moment later of these guys. Oh, 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 oh. You gotta love that stuff, man. It's so good. It's so good. All right, let me see. Let's go ahead and do the injury check, the latest lineup news for the Raptors right now for today's game against Oklahoma City. The tip-off today is at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we get a regular time for our game instead of West Coast time because they want to do a Sunday afternoon game in Oklahoma City. So I guess they'll be playing around 4 p.m. local time or like 5 p.m. local time, and it's not a super late game, which is fantastic. The ESPN matchup predictor has Oklahoma City 81% favored to beat us today, which is interesting. That's a pretty high percentage, honestly. I woke up this morning and I see on the injury list Emmanuel Quickley's name, guys. That's right. Emmanuel is day-to-day. He is questionable for the game today due to a right ankle soreness. So Emmanuel Quickley is day-to-day, possible, questionable for the game tonight. That's interesting. So that may mean a shed starting and having to deal with SGA and Lugetz. Yikes. Jacoby Walter is listed as questionable today. He is not already said as out, which is good. This is progress. And maybe young Walter can be coming back and rejoining the team today to help us against the defending champions. So Jacoby, let's get you back out there. Let's hope that hip is pointed right finally. Colin Murray-Boyles is also listed as questionable and not ruled out for today. The thumb injury has hopefully been healing nice. And you know what? He'd be great reinforcements coming in with Jacoby to help the Raptors bolster their lineup since they've been out for a little bit. So let's hope that young Murray-Boyles and young Walter are both possible additions back to the Raptors lineup. Jakob is out for sure. He is not with the team at this point. He is in Toronto taking time with the specialist to work on his back. And Chucky Hepburn is out also. He is still out, of course. So, yeah, I will speculate that hopefully we have a barbecue lineup, depending on whether Quickley is out there or not. So, Barrett, Barnes, and Ingram for sure in the starting lineup. And depending on whether Quickley's there or not, or Murray-Boyles, maybe we'll see Shed and Mamu in the lineup or Quickley and Colin Murray-Boyles. We'll just have to see how the Raptors starting lineup shakes up as the afternoon goes on, with news about Emmanuel, Jacoby, and Colin. So hopefully we'll get that. On the other side, there are some names on the list for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They played on Friday night against the Pacers and lost, as I said. This is their injury list. Thomas Sorber, the first-round pick from last year for them, has been out most of the season, pretty much the whole season. He had a torn ACL very early on in the offseason, and I don't think he's actually played for them very much. Nikola Topic, he has been diagnosed with testicular cancer, and he is out. He's been out since Halloween, pretty much, so he's been out most of the season. Their all-star and a second-best player, as according to a lot of people, Jalen Williams, has been hurt this month. He got hurt around the 19th. And he is out for 2 weeks, so he will not be playing today. There will be no J-Dub, no Jalen Williams for the Oklahoma City Thunder today. Aaron Higgins is questionable, the player off the bench that can fill it up real quick. He has a right hip impingement, and he is day-to-day questionable today. Isaiah Hartenstein will not be playing today. The starting center for the Oklahoma City Thunder has a calf injury and will not be available for sure today in this game. That's good, just in case, because he's really their center, right? He's their big guy. It's not Chet. Chet's not their center. Isaiah is, and, well, this is less size for them. Maybe this will be an interesting matchup, a little bit more small ball without Hartenstein out there. Alex Caruso is not playing today. He's been abducted, guys. Alex Caruso abducted by his abductor, and he is out for sure today. So the feisty two-time champion off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder, an annoying guy, a workout partner for Jamal Shed, will not be available tonight. So no Alex Caruso. AJ Mitchell will not play tonight also due to an abdomen injury. So that's the injury news for them. There's some key guys there as far as with Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Alex Caruso not available for the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. So who are the Thunder this year? This will be the first time we see them this season. And, well, it's our guy, the MVP, numero uno on Team Canada, Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, of course. It's point guard, just a badass, somebody we love, somebody we have a lot of respect for. Luguetz Dort as the other starting guard out of North Montreal. We love our Dort, another great player from Team Canada. So it'll be nice to see those guys today. Chet Holmgren, of course, is the power forward. His old slender man ass looking all brittle and crazy and goofy. Well, we'll see Chet out there tonight. He will be playing, guys. Cason Wallace off the bench, possibly could be in the starting lineup due to the injuries. Maybe it's the Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams that starts for Jalen Williams. It's like you don't have Jalen Williams, Mark Dagnall, so you go ahead and play Jalen Williams, okay? You don't have Jalen Williams? We'll play Jalen Williams. Jalen with a Y could be getting in there today in his place. Who knows? Isaiah Joe, he could be starting today. We'll just have to see who starts in the place of J-Dub and I Hart. That's right. Also off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder, Kenrick Williams, old Raptor, Brendan Carlson. Yes, it's very possible we will see Brendan Carlson playing against us today. And also, that's about it, man. They're really thin as far as a lot of guys are hurt and out. And I'm not naming the guys that are hurt and already said are already out. So, yeah, they have a short roster right now. And that may be part of the reason why they lost to the Pacers is because the Thunder are hurt and they are not having the deepest of depth right now. So SGA, Luguetz, Chet, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams with a Y, Isaiah Joe, Kenrick Williams, Brendan Carlson. That's it. Those are the guys that pretty much are healthy for them right now. Now, as I said, they lost to Indiana in their last game. And honestly, they've lost 2 out of their last 4 games, guys. They've lost 2 out of their last 4, but they've won a lot before that. But the trend is they're playing 500 ball in the last week or so. So, maybe they are susceptible. Maybe they are due for a loss. Let's go look at the refs. This is, of course, very important for this game today. First in Secaucus, through the headset, we've got Biniam Maru, Dedrick Taylor, Jason Goldenberg, and Natalie Sago holding down the fort through the replay center. Now, that's actually a good crew in there. I mean, we have 2 of our best refs looking out at the replay center, Jason Goldenberg and Dedrick Taylor. Those 2 guys have been very, very kind and nice to the Raptors for a long, long time, and we appreciate them. Natalie Sago's been very fair this year too. And Biniam Maru, well, he's just new. He's green. All right, we got an interesting ref crew on site because all 3 of the refs for the Raptors game against the Thunder today have reffed only wins for the Raptors this year. In fact, between the 3 of them, they've reffed 9-0 is the record for the Raptors with the 3 refs that are refereeing for us today. No losses with these 3 refs this year so far. Number 1 ref today is Star Wars lover Carl Lane. That's right. Carl Lane's back with us today. Number 77 out of Little Rock, Arkansas in his 15th season. He loves Game of Thrones and he loves Star Wars movies and books. He listens to Jay-Z. He loves Mexican food. His favorite app is Candy Crush. He'd most like to visit Rome and see the 7 wonders of the world, and his hidden talent is home repair. Well, Carl Lane has worked as an in-school suspension teacher for 2 years in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's right, Breakfast Club. That's right. This guy is as 80s can be with his in-school suspension teacher job and his Star Wars love. That's right. We love Carl Lane. Carl Lane is a tough, good ref. He's a fair ref. And, he's the best ref for the Raptors today. We are 4-0 this season with him. We have had him 4 times this year, and we've won all 4 of those games. We win 58% of our games in the history of Carl Lane refereeing Raptors games. And, the Thunder only win 53%. So 58-53 for the Raptors with the crew chief, Carl Lane. That's a good one right there. The second ref today is going to be Brent Bernecki, the lawyer, number 36 in his 16th season out of Hamilton, Ohio. His favorite TV show is Hardwood Classics. So he likes to watch the old clips of Jordan and Bird. Yeah. His favorite movie is For the Love of Game, of the Game. He listens to Chris Botti. His favorite book is Ego is the Enemy. His favorite meal is chicken parmesan. He likes to use FaceTime. He'd most like to visit Italy, and his bucket list is the Great Barrier Reef scuba dive. That's right. Yeah, Brent Bernecki came to the NBA with 10 years of collegiate officiating experience in several major conferences, including the Big East, Conference USA, and SEC. He officiated the NBA G League playoffs from 2008 to 2010, then the NBA G League finals in 2009 and 2010. That's right. Brent Bernecki is a lawyer, as I said. Well, let's look at his record with us. We're at 3-0 with him this year. We've had him 3 times this year, and we won all 3 of those games. We win historically 46% of our games with Brent Bernecki, and the Thunder win 55%. So 46 to 55 for Oklahoma City with the lawyer, Brent Bernecki. The third ref today is Jenna Schroeder. Jenna Schroeder is out of Flint, Michigan, number 20 in her 7th season. Her favorite TV show is 30 Rock. She likes the movie Dirty Dancing. She listens to Bob Seger. She most like to visit Australia, and she wants to see Billy Joel, Eric Clapton, and the Rolling Stones in concert at some point. Schroeder has officiated 3 seasons in the NBA G League and 2 seasons in the WNBA. She has 7 years of collegiate officiating experience, working games in the ACC, American, Atlantic 10, and Big East conferences. Yeah, Jenna, we've had her a few times this year also. She is the worst ref today. We are 2-0 with Jenna Schroeder. We win 43% of our games. She's down near the bottom of the ref spreadsheet. It is pretty bad, honestly. She's moved up a bit because of the 2 wins so far this year. But she's down there, man. She's down there. Let's just put it that way. The Thunder win 48% of their games with her. So 43 to 48 for the Thunder with the third ref, Jenna Schroeder. It's got to be actually a pretty good sign that all the games that we've had these referees we've won. So that's something at least. Something at least there. But yeah, it's going to be tough either way. We know it's Oklahoma City. We know it's SGA. And well, we got to come and play them and show them who we are and do what we do. That's right. And Scotty, you keep blossoming as a leader, as a franchise player in the things that you do and more dominance. And well, we have a good shot to do something with the Thunder today. Yeah, we have a good shot. Trevor J, with his words of wisdom, let's see what he's saying this morning. Time is only currency. Time is the only currency you will ever spend without knowing the balance. Use it wisely. Yeah, time is an illusion also. It's kind of an interesting thing. You know, time being commoditized or monetized is silly because it doesn't have anything to do with that. That's one of the biggest lies and myths is that in some ways to crack that whip and get everybody to go into society and run the cogs of it, they have to give you an impetus of guilt and shame to say, oh, time is money. If you don't do things, you're not doing things. No, it's all bullshit. You know, existence is something totally different. And if you can get back to the old ways of thinking about things, the ways of the indigenous people, the ways of the Buddhist monks that sit in temples, did these guys worry about how much money they're wasting with their time? No, they don't. Because in some ways they know the essence and the world and the life force in the world better than a society where we all sit in cars and freeways and try to get to work. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Commissioner J. And blessings to the Jones family. That's right. Yeah. Trevor's saying a happy game day. Let's beat Oklahoma City tonight. Let's go. That's right. Yeah. Let's beat them. I'm so glad it's earlier in the night. You know, it's 7 p.m. Eastern time was when we're starting, which is not at 10 p.m., which is fantastic. And this is good because it'll allow the Raptors a little bit more of a transition in the game start time from the West Coast start to the East Coast start. Playing New York Knicks on Wednesday at Scotiabank Arena at home on the other end of this trip. Yeah, I love the open gym episode talking about why the trip is fun. And something I said on the stream yesterday was true. That a lot of the guys on the open gym episode saying going on a trip's good for bonding and being on the road and seeing each other, you know, and just like being around each other and having a good vibe build. You know, 9-day trip out on the road and hotels and getting on planes with your buddies. It is a bonding experience. I love that. I love the seeing the behind the scenes stuff, like the team picture. And Jonathan ruins the Emmanuel team picture because he says something when they're doing the call five. He said, "Who you're gonna call?" or something like that. And everybody's like, "You ruined it. You ruined it." Emmanuel gets in his face. Jamal Shed is like, "Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, Jonathan?" And then, of course, RJ razzing everybody about their swag. And I kind of love what, Jacoby's like, this is not Balenciaga. This is not Balenciaga. And then, like, when he's pointing out the rollie on Sandro's wrist, Sandro's saying, this is just for telling time. It's not for anything more than that. It's not a status symbol. It's not for me to brag that I have a Rolex on my arm. This is just for telling time. I love that attitude because in some ways, wealth and having things and stuff like that, that's an illusion also, trust me. And RJ, you go ahead and be a swag master, pointing out all the swag around the Raptors locker room. Brandon walking in with a very expensive bag, very expensive bag on that episode. Yeah, it's fun. Open gym's the best, man. I love open gym. Yeah, Trevor's saying that the Knicks beat the Sixers yesterday in an Atlantic Division rivalry grudge match. Two of our opponents, two teams we don't really care for. Well, somebody's gonna lose, somebody's gonna win, and we're gonna feel good about it. Honestly, I was going for Sixers because the Knicks are right next to us in the standings, and we need some help. Nick Nurse, Kyle Lowry. Why couldn't y'all beat the Knicks last night so that we could be better in the standings next to them? You failed, Nick Nurse. So why didn't you beat them? I heard that Joel's playing good and he's healthy right now. So why didn't you beat the Knicks last night? We needed your help, 76ers. So, well, next time. Yeah. Well, we're going to get above the Sixers. We're already above the Sixers. We're going to get above the Knicks and the Celtics soon. Watch. Celtics are showing some signs. Like I said, the Celtics are showing them some signs. That's right. A real goated Jidman's here. Good morning, man. How you doing this morning? Thanks for the sub. She's the ref that gave Scotty a tech, right? Jenna Schroeder? Yeah, I think she might have given him a tech this year. Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, she's the one who kind of has blonder hair. And she's kind of like Sego's the one with the dark hair that got into it with Kyle Lowry back in the day. Like Kyle Lowry and her had a real grudge around Tampa season, if you remember that. Yeah, Schroeder is one that like we hadn't had her for a couple years a lot, but we've had her a lot this year, which is interesting. And she's always been bad to us. She's been a bad ref to the Raptors for a long time. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure she is the one that gave Scotty a tech earlier this season. I think you're right. Mr. Quasimodo's here. Good morning, Mr. Quasimodo. Thank you for being here with the stream, and thank you for supporting the channel, man. Bro, some of these refs do too much. Yeah. I mean, that's something that Fred said on his Unguarded podcast. He said these refs get tired like the players. They do too many games. And they get run down from being on the road and traveling because they run up and down the court just like the players, right? Some of these refs are older. I worry about them falling out in the middle of the game, right? It's like, they aren't in their 30s and 20s. They're in like their 60s, some of the refs running up and down the court. And I worry about them sometimes. Seriously. Like they're laboring, like, they're doing too much. Seriously. I hear you on this. Well, some ways they got to get that money and get paid while they can. These refs love working a lot because they're getting paid when they work, and they don't all work the same amount of games. So their pay is different. And especially for the different levels, you get paid more for the finals, you get paid more for the playoffs than you do for the regular season. So you're trying to, do the right things. There's competition within the refs that nobody talks about either. And Fred brought it up that the refs do get fined and they do get in trouble for making bad calls. It's just that none of it's public so that people would know about it. And, these refs, it's ultra competitive within the referees because they get scored and they get assignments based on how they get scored. So they're out there actually trying to do things right so that they get favor with the NBA for more jobs later. Right? They want to do too much because they want to work as much as possible. That's right. Nameless is here. Good morning to the plumber. Nameless. Existence is the entire purpose of life. That's all. Literally everything else is artificial. Yeah. I get it. Human beings, We did things to survive. We had to kill animals and eat their meat and cook it. And we had to learn agrarian society to grow our own food. We had to do things to survive and figure that out. But at a certain point, we mastered survival and got to a point where, well, what do we do now? Well, I'm bored. I don't know. Let's make an instrument and play some music. Let's get this and paint this on a cave wall, stuff like that. I get it. But at some point, we got into this hyperdrive on just extraneous and unnatural shit around us. And that's society. That is all this crazy stuff that's man made that we've put into this world that is not natural in a lot of ways. And it's really hard to get to a center of naturalness and purity in this world with the creative energy of God and the natural spirit of life essence, because that's truly what God is to me. Is that, like, we've said this on this channel recently, that the life force in our bodies is the same life force that's in a tree or in an insect or in a microorganism, in a bird, in anything that has a living essence in it. It's all the same energy. We share it, and it transfers between. And this is the stuff that we've gotten out of touch with. That if we were more in touch with the natural energies around us, like the indigenous people that lived here before the white man came here, we would be a lot better off, honestly, because we'd be more harmonized with that world. And that world is the right world. That is the pure, true world. That's the truth. That's the truth, is that life force I'm talking about. And as we kill that life force more and more, as we see species decline, as we see less and less insects splattering on our windshield, these are signs that we're not in alignment with the actual natural life force we should be. Yeah. Whoa, we're getting deep here. A little bit deep, man. A little bit deep here. That's right. Let's see what else y'all are saying. Trevor's saying that Open Gym was fire. I agree, man. That's really good episode. I love seeing Scotty as a leader. Don't you? Like, listen to Scotty in that huddle? What did he say to those guys? And apply it to what we saw in the games. Like, he is a good leader. He said, like, this is what we're going to defense. Don't let up on defense. We're going to do this. I don't remember what he said specifically, but wow. Like, do you see how he could be inspiring? Could you see how Darko's a good coach from that episode on Open Gym? Like, people that are critical of Darko. I love how more and more we get more insight to what he's doing exactly. Like, sometimes coaching is very secretive and you don't want to know their techniques and their style and who they are even. But Darko, from time to time, Open Gym and interviews in different places, he reveals stuff about him and what he's doing in the work. Because in some ways it's smart, because, we don't want Raptors Nation to come with pitchforks and torches to say he needs to get fired. So it's like Darko can put on display, well, you want to see what I'm doing? It's kind of like a performance review for us. We're the supervisor. We're the boss. And we're like, hey, he's our coach for our team. Is he doing a good job? Well, let's take a little look into the magic window of Open Gym and see what Darko's doing with them exactly. And when you see that kind of footage on Open Gym, don't you feel like I support this guy? I feel very strongly this guy's doing a good job. I do, because I see how he can inspire. I can see how he can instruct, and I can see how he's building this team. And I see how he's instilling a pride for this team to win for the city of Toronto. Because that's really what it is. It's like the ultimate goal is, I want the Raptors to win. That's just all he live, eat, sleep, and breathes. And we're fans. We want to see them win, right? We want that. We're Raptors fans. We want to see the Raptors win as much as possible. Well, that's all Darko is doing with his life purpose right now. I'm the coach of the Raptors. I'm supposed to make the Raptors win. And that's what we're doing here. It's very, very, very honest and just straightforward. And I love that. I love that. And these guys are bought in, and that's why they do this. That's why they run through walls for him in the way that they play. It's really, really awesome. And it's really cool to see the behind the scenes and get the real essence of it from seeing them talking and seeing Darko address the team after games or in the pre-morning meeting. What's that feel like? What's that look like? All the Raptors sitting in a ballroom in a hotel, and Darko's saying, what did we learn last night from the game? And they raise their hands like they're students in class. And he's a teacher, because coaches are teachers, just like a school. They're supposed to teach these guys to get better. But in some NBA teams, they don't teach. They're basically just like managing egos or kind of like saying, yeah, you're going to do this, but how much can you actually get a guy out of his comfort zone and get him to expand and develop in his role and grow as a player? Some guys come in the league and they're already, I'm just me. This is who I am. Deal with it. This is me. I'm not going to change. I'm a scorer. I've been this at Seton Hall. I'll be this afterwards. Shit like that. But see, Darko, in some ways, he opens that door for them to be their mind open to say, you know what? I'm going to take you on a journey if you trust me. And we're going to make you a better player, even on top of what you are already. Yeah, that's not always easy to do, to cultivate those levels of trust with your players as a coach, that they'll put their professional NBA career in your hands. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Fiercely saying this. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. I'm being petty today. Took screenshots of Oklahoma City and Dallas pics with the beautiful snow. When people trash Toronto's weather, we'll post them. Yeah, all right. This is my cue to do the Instagram stories this morning because they're very interesting this morning. Very, very interesting. First of all, we got Andrew Jones on the bench with his 905 team, Leftwich and Serrano. Love seeing the crew from 905. Y'all will get back on the winning side again. I'm sure tomorrow in Osceola when we play the Magic. We'll have the preview for that tomorrow on tomorrow's show. 905 back in action there. Pascal Siakam has got some lady talking about President Obama and Shaq and all these other people got their eyes on Pascal Siakam. I love it. There's some good ads there. All right, Jacoby's got the first picture on his Instagram, and this is how cold it is right now. Oklahoma City, there's snow all over the ground outside of the arena where the Thunder play, and I swear that's a penguin on the ground outside there. Now, listen, I'm going to say this right now. I ain't got no penguin out in my yard right now. They got penguins out in the yard outside the arena in Oklahoma City right now. They're colder than. I'm sorry, because we ain't got no penguins in my neighborhood right here. And I'm in Ontario. And I don't see no penguins out here sliding down hills and ice and eating little fish like they do in the Arctic. But I swear there's a penguin on the screen in Oklahoma City on Jacoby Walters' Instagram stories right now. You go look at it. That's a penguin. They got penguins walking around down in Oklahoma City right now. That's the crazy polar vortex that is over this country, this continent right now. That's right. Let's see. Mercedes has come back to, she was in Denver. Now she's in Toronto. So I guess she's skipping the Oklahoma City trip and came right back to Toronto. Interesting. Jamal Shed is putting on blast Jarace Walker, teammate of his from Houston, or a friend from Houston. Because Jarace of the Indiana Pacers has an achievement of 1,000 career points recently. So Jamal is celebrating Houston Cougar. There's Grady with some pictures from the Portland game. There's him dapping Scotty after a score right there. I like to see that, Grady. More pictures of you with your teammates, for sure. Mamu with an action photo on his. Fred taking calls yesterday for his Unguarded podcast. I don't know how many people called in. Hopefully you got some good material for his next podcast episode. We'll have to see how Freddie does with that. Let's see. Do we have anybody else? Serge Ibaka taking very stylish model-like pictures. He's been in Morocco recently, of course, for the soccer tournament. And, well, Serge is just surging, man. Serge is Serge, right? Serge, where in the world is Serge? I don't know. I can't tell. He's on a fashion runway, it looks like, modeling his art, like he does. Yeah, he is. There he is. They're taking pictures of him. And he's got like a crazy fur jacket on. It's got it looks really warm. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Ibaka, basketball player, musical artist, fashion runway model. That's right. He does art. He is cultured. Original man. That's right. Leo Routens went and saw his buddy where he gets his hair cut. Of course, every once in a while, Leo's going to show the picture of him getting his hair did with his buddy. I think his name's Andre or something like that. I forget his name. But yeah, Leo's always showing the picture when he gets the fresh cut. That's right. Colin Murray-Boyles got an action picture up of himself and Scotty on the court in action. Love to see that. James Wade has got a picture of him with a friend of his and saying, post yourself, no skips. He's got a poster of him with Scoop. I think that's Scoop Jackson or Scoop the journalist guy, Scoop. Scoop. Scotty has posted the celebration with the red jacket Raptors fans in Portland, dancing in the back, going crazy. The fan participation was high on that one. It was very high on that one. Pretty cool stuff. And there's a picture of Portland, and Scotty was out in the weather in Portland. It's a nice day in Portland, And that's what he said. I think that's a lyric from a song or something like that. Nice day in Portland. Let's see. Jamal McGlure's getting a new suit put on. That's the Instagram stories right there. That's the Instagram stories. Yeah, I swear. In Jacoby's picture, that is a penguin outside the Oklahoma City Thunder's arena. That's a penguin. Trevor J saying right now the U.S. is under a massive snowstorm. Everywhere is cold. Yeah, it's just blanketed the whole area. Maybe Seymour and Calgary got the skirting of the outskirts of it, but it's just dumped right on down, all in the middle of the United States. Yeah, yeah, it's just like that. I mean, it was crazy cold here yesterday, -30 at my place out here. And it was interesting, man. I don't think it's been ever that cold since I've moved out here. This is the coldest last couple days since I moved out here. Seriously. Seriously. Oh, I just got a notice saying snow's coming. Mr. Quasimodo saying this, man. The caucus people brought forks. The caucus people brought forks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. They got a postponement of a game last night in Minneapolis for obvious reasons because there was another murder of a citizen by ICE in the streets yesterday, and it's on video, and it's very troubling. It's very, very troubling. It's a very disturbing video. The man was an ICU nurse who was in a veterans hospital, and he was taking care of people that served the country of the United States. And he died protecting a woman from getting sprayed in the face with pepper spray by the Gestapo thugs of ICE. And they literally pistol whipped him and shot him 5 times while he laid on the ground defenseless. Absolute state-sponsored murder. And the United States is just going to hell right now. And Charles Barkley came out on TNT last night and denounced Donald Trump and said that this has got to end. This has got to stop. That we need adults in the room to take care of this. And this is just messed up. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like the NBA starts getting affected by political things happening in the United States. That's a sign that things are going the wrong way. And the fact that they canceled the Warriors Timberwolves game last night to play today is a sign. I'm telling you right now, there's some really bad stuff happening right now. Really, really bad stuff. The power of the people, we shall overcome, and we will defeat this evil that is trying to control the United States right now. We will. I trust me. I know we will, because when they do shit like what they did yesterday, they look so much the more worse. And even people that were our enemies yesterday become our allies now because they want to live in freedom too. Even if they're very right wing and I'm very left wing, we have a lot of the same goals. And living in tyranny is not a goal anybody has. No, it's not. And this is where you get to that real life Boston Tea Party, Boston Massacre energy, that kind of stuff, where America becomes the best America can be by being an example of what's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be. And we're going to get back to that. The people will work this out. Trust me. They're going to work this out. That's right. Truth with a capital T. But what do I know? Well, what do I know? I don't know. What do you know, Mr. Quasimodo? You know what you should know, and you will know more as you grow. That's right. Open gym fire. That's right, Fiercey. Open gym fire tonight. A very winnable game. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm just like the idea of the Raptors getting a new challenge and seeing how they meet that challenge, seeing how they attack it, seeing how they approach it, seeing how we do. It's a good litmus test. A very, very good team. And, we need to see exactly how good we are because, we've done very well on this road trip. And, let's just see with an ultimate test, the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, this is a big deal, man. Paul B is in the house. Good to see Paul B holding it down for us in the state of Wisconsin. That's right. It's Paul B saying this. Will Scotty stop SGA's 90-plus game, 20-point streak? That's a great question. Yeah, we stopped LeBron's streak this year. In the first game against the Lakers, where LeBron didn't get double digits for the first time in like years and years and years. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if anybody's going to try and be able to do that, I would believe in Mr. Barnes as far as trying to slow down SGA like he slowed down DeMar DeRozan the other night. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tougher, easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? That's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, man. And he's like that. Yeah, I don't know. Is Scotty going to be playing him or is he going to be playing Chet? That may be part of what the question is too. You put Scotty on Chet and maybe Oshai's running around after SGA or Shed, maybe. I don't know. Who's the best person to guard SGA? Maybe it's RJ. There's a lot to that. In fact, let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods. Guys, straight goods on Canadian goods. Team Canada. Support Team Canada basketball. We've got some of the best players in the world now with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and RJ Barrett and Luguette Dort. And, well, this is Orrin Weisfeld's book, The Golden Generation. And you see SGA and RJ on this cover with Jamal Murray and Dylan Brooks. And, well, this is the Team Canada is a fantastic team. We're getting better and better, and we're going to see some of the best players on the team in action in our game today between RJ and the guys on the Thunder. And yeah, I'm just really proud of our team. I'm proud of the talent coming up. We saw Shaedon Sharpe on Friday night. He's looking better than ever. And yeah, Team Canada, what a great project. What a great team. What a great product. And I'm proud of Team Canada and its rise in FIBA basketball and what we're going to be doing in the years to come with these guys. So there you go. Straight goods on Canadian goods, Team Canada. And also you buy Orrin's book, The Golden Generation, How Canada Became a Basketball Powerhouse. Yeah, because SGA and RJ are going to be on the court today. And maybe Barrett will understand how to contain SGA a little bit. Probably not. It's not totally easy. But it could be a fun, entertaining matchup to see RJ try and guard SGA. Because there's a lot of love and joy between the Canada teammates on there. Yeah, Nameless is saying BI is currently on a journey. BI, oh, yeah. Yeah, Brandon is so misunderstood. I love what Jack Armstrong said about Brandon on Mike Roach's show this past week. If you haven't seen it, watch Mike Roach. Seriously, he's had a series of interviews with a lot of the Raptors broadcasters, including Sherman Hamilton, Paul Jones, Leo Routens, Alvin Williams, Matt Devlin, Jack Armstrong. They've all came through and done his show, and some of them multiple times. And, well, Jack Armstrong went on about Brandon Ingram for a little while the other day at length on Mike Roach's show, saying that this dude is a basketball gym rat. This guy loves basketball. This guy's all about it. And talking to him in real life, he's just a very nice young man, that he's just really polite and just amazing dude, a great teammate. And he is really, really happy right now. I've said this over and over again, that Brandon is just really, really enjoying being a part of the Raptors organization and the professionalism and the way we're running things, and that, he can thrive and be himself and see good results with us winning and, trust with his teammates and the coach and all that kind of stuff. So Brandon is, man, he's just a student of the game. And like I said, that's a common trait with a lot of the guys in our nucleus, that these guys really love basketball. Like, they really love it. They're not just playing basketball because they're tall. These guys actually really love basketball, and they're students of the game, and they want to be the best basketball player as a working progress all over the time, over and over again, get better and better. And we see in some ways some new ways that Brandon Ingram's expanding his basketball with the Raptors now. There are a couple of different ways he's branching out, man. Superfan Mo is in the house. Good to see the Superfan Monique Lawrence in the house. Happy game day, Raptor Freak crew. Good morning. Good morning to you, Mo. Good morning to you. I hope you can find this book soon. I still haven't read it, but I will let you borrow it after I read it. But yeah, this book is, hopefully people can find it online or at the bookstore, The Golden Generation by Orrin Weisfeld. Yeah, I haven't even started reading it yet. I've been so busy. But yeah, always good to see the Superfan in the chat with us. It's the best mornings when Monique is here, guys. Kaloy saying happy snow day. Rest in peace to Jeff Preddy. Alex Preddy is actually his name. Fuck ice. Yeah. Yeah, it's really disturbing footage. And it's just like, you guys can't lie to us. Like, the government comes out and says this, and it's obvious lies. So this whole regime has to be toppled. These people are liars, and there needs to be justice for the things that are happening. You're not going to pervert reality to your lies and get us all to believe this. We're not stupid. You're trying to talk to us like the public and people are stupid. No, we're not. We can see what happened, and we know what happened. That's right. Nameless is saying Ibaka is one culture motherfucker. That's the kind of stuff I appreciate. Yeah, we love Serge. Serge is awesome. Serge is a Raptors champion. That's always good. And, well, we're playing Oklahoma City today. Serge has the ties there too, right? That's right. Beat the champs day. That's right. We were champs once, and they know what it's like to be champs now. And well, let's beat them today. That's right. Scotty, this is a high prestige game. This is a game where if you guys do stuff to the Thunder and you look real good, you can get a lot more notice. You definitely make a stronger case for your all-star and a defensive player of the year stuff and all the NBA team, all that kind of stuff. You guys will get more uh press and vision, and people will see you. You'll get more prestige if you can beat the Thunder today. For sure. For sure. I'm hearing other people around the league, podcasts and different people writing that they think that Brandon should be an all-star, that they are really big on Ingram and the weapon he's been for us. And there is some good press out there from different people putting on blast that Brandon Ingram is an NBA all-star right now. And I love that. It would be great if he gets it. I'm not against it, but I'm not holding my breath. And if it doesn't happen, I won't be disappointed because in some ways I kind of expect him not to get it. But if he gets it, that's a really good, pleasant surprise. And I'd be very happy that the Raptors have 2 all-stars this year. In some ways, we do deserve it. We really do. Let's see. Nameless is saying this. Look at this gentle snowfall right now. So goddamn peaceful. Do you have to put the goddamn in there? Can you just say so peaceful? I mean, seriously. No, it's very nice. There wasn't that much wind yesterday, so it didn't really blow off all the snow off of the trees in my forest here. And it's just like the forest is snow covered. And it just, man, the snow is so white and unmessed with. There's no like yellow snow and city dirt snow like in the city. It's just a beautiful, pristine scene. And there's like all these different animal tracks in my yard going in different directions and trying to find out which animals are those. I've had a lot of rabbits in my yard in the last week. I had a tree topple over from ice getting on it and breaking the trunk. And I didn't go clean it up. I just left it there, and it's like leaned over on its side, and it looks ugly. Most people would like get it out of there. It's like, oh, the tree fell over. I should clean it up, chop it down, throw it in the. I didn't do any of that. Not because I'm lazy, just because there's a lot of snow, and I'm like, I guess I'll get that in the spring. I don't need to get it, but it's a makeshift house for the rabbits. That's the thing. Nature's not perfect. We manicure our lawns and we do all this stuff to make it look the way we think it should look. No, the more imperfect nature is, the more it takes care of itself, because that tree leaning over that I didn't clean up is housing rabbit at night in a protective way because the branches are sticky. And get this, the branches are tasty to the rabbits and they're eating bark off the branches too. So it's like that tree to me looks like it's out of place because it's broken to society. In nature's course, that's exactly where it should be, because it's providing a safe habitat for the rabbits at night and something to eat. So it's like nature is not perfect, and everybody who's trying to force nature to be perfect, you're not getting it right. Let's just put it that way. Your yard should be a crazy ecological diversity of all kinds of different stuff. It shouldn't be monoculture. It shouldn't be just one thing. And you're killing the earth by having a lawn that's just one, and you're very over doing it. And you say, oh no, the yard has this and this. I got to go do that. Fuck that. Make your yard wild and see just how much life explodes in the spring from that. I'm telling you right now, man, less is more when it comes to nature, because nature knows what it's doing better than us. So just let it take its course. That's kind of what I look at it. Yeah, it's so sad. Mr. Quasimodo is saying literal murder. I know. Literal murder done by criminals, done by weak men that have wanted to have this kind of power, this perverted, gross, weak little man power. It's just disgusting. And the fact that, the government is lying about it to our faces and saying, oh, he had a gun. Oh, he was a threat. That's all bullshit. That is all bullshit. And the parents of the guy who got murdered yesterday released a statement because, yeah, they were like, you're not going to, ruin the reputation of our son and who he actually was. We're going to let you know. In fact, somebody posted a video on Blue Skies this morning, and his father was a veteran, and he was in the hospital where Alex Peretti worked. And he asked Alex Peretti to give him his last rites as a veteran who was dying in the VA hospital. And he shared the video of Alex giving him his last rites. And his dad would be so ashamed to know that this man that did that for him was murdered by the state, by the government, by the United States like this. It's a really crazy situation. It should never been like this. The political system of the United States is broken, and this is all evidence of it, what's happening right now. And the people, the foxes in the hen house have been running things, and they're not responsible, and they're degrading society right in front of us. It's crazy. Nameless saying, I'd like to see CMB on call on SGA. Calling on Shea. Yeah, maybe he would be pretty good. That's one of the things they talked about with Murray-Boyles that's so impressive about him. His athleticism is his sidestepping, is how quick he laterally moves. And that might actually be a recipe to kind of slow down Gilgeous-Alexander, is something like that. I know what Darko's probably going to do is he's going to throw all kinds of different looks at Shea Gilgeous just to try and slow him down, whether it's a bigger guy, a smaller guy, whether it's this guy or that guy. He's probably going to have like 7 different guys coming at him in different times during the whole entire game, which will be very interesting to see who's the most effective. And it could very well be, hopefully, if our rookie Murray-Boyles is available today, he could very well be effective in some ways. I could see that. Trevor's saying, we are ready, passed the test, winning over the West team, NBA teams. We proved that we can beat anyone. Yeah, not yet, though. We haven't proven we can beat the Knicks. We need to do that on Wednesday. Most saying this, Lex, what do you think of T-Mac and Vince podcast idea? Thoughts? If they're doing a podcast, I don't care. I don't really care what T-Mac and Vince think. I really don't. I mean, I'll care more about what Tracy thinks than Vince. But at this point, Vince, I don't care what Vince thinks. I probably won't watch it, especially if it's through Peacock or anything like that. But no, I didn't even know they were doing one. I probably won't watch it. It's not going to be like Fred VanVleet's podcast. No, I'm religiously watch Fred's podcast because in some ways, Fred, he's no bullshit. He's the honest truth. And I don't think I think Vince is a liar. I think Vince is kind of full of shit. And when I hear Vince talk, I'm kind of like, man, stop with your bullshit, man. This is kind of how I feel when I hear Vince talk. So I don't know. I like Tracy. I think that Tracy could be interesting. What is the topics they're going to be talking about? Are they going to be talking about life? I don't know. I have so many questions. In some ways, I'm not that interested in it either, though. Yeah, Fiercey's got Scotty on blast, which is pretty cool. I like that. All right, let me see. What else is in my tabs here? Let's go see what Raptors Reddit is talking about. They've got Tyrese Halliburton's tweet saying that Alex Preddy was murdered. Yeah, and a lot of people are coming out. This is saying Halliburton is all of us today. Yeah, this is good. People are speaking out, and they're saying stuff that is important because of all this right now. Yeah. Let's see what else is on here. There's a pronunciations guide for the Raptors that they give to the announcers so that they can say everybody's name right. They have Jonathan on there. Yeah, Jonathan Mobo. There it is. Good. So there's no excuses, announcers. And of course, Sandro's name is the craziest one on here. Let's see. Chai Baji, Jonathan Mobo, Vin Bavnani, Jakob Pato, Leia, La, Jamal Shed. It just says Jamal and then Shed, the word Shed. Because people are going to say his last name, Shed, Elijah Martin, Ivo Simovic, Sandro Mamu Kelashvili. Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to pronounce those, especially if that's your job announcing. You got to get the names right? You got to get the names right. All right, that's enough with the the Raptors Reddit. They seem like they're pretty much on their best behavior. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of crazy stuff on here. Oh, they're asking who would you target in a trade? Goga, Dayron, East Missy, or Dematis? No, we go Dayron Sharp. That's it right there. That's the right answer. I wish they'd show the results. They don't show the results of the poll anymore. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Nako's saying thank you to Halliburton. Yeah, no, I mean, don't thank him. Be like him. Everybody needs to raise a ruckus. Everybody needs to recognize. Everybody needs to be brave and speak out. Everybody needs to take a stand. And our part in this country, being away from it, is to show support for the protesters, show support for the resistors, show support for the people of the United States that are living under tyranny right now. And know that, even if they're bowing up to us as far as the MAGA and the Trump, that we're not your enemies, Americans. We love you guys. And we want you guys to be free and live a good life in society. That's what we want here too. And your fight is our fight too. And we stand in solidarity with the protesters that are against the American government right now. And I think most of the world is with this. I spoke to my brother on the phone yesterday, and he told me that he estimates in the United States, because he lives in Atlanta, that it's only like 15% of people actually support Trump at this point. It's a very small number, and they're trying to make it seem like it's way more vastly popular, but it's not. It's all been peacocking and bullshit and smoke and mirrors, honestly. Half the shit online is bots in other countries that are supporting him and putting all kinds of comments out there. And in real life, even people that were supporting him have turned their backs on him because of the recent turn of events. So, yeah, it's not popular. This is not what the American people want. And any kind of lies that they're saying they're doing things the way that the America chose, that's absolute horseshit. And once again, another thing that I get mad about is when people say the Americans voted for this. They did not. This was forced on them. And people can say Trump won the election, but I don't believe that. I think that Elon did rig the election machines and they forced him to be the winner. And I think that America actually did get the vote right. It's just that they've been swindled and lied to by the mass media in conjunction with Elon Musk and Trump. So seriously, I mean, it makes more sense to me that would be that. You've got to understand there's like male chauvinists that would never let a woman be a president, and that they did that both times when Clinton and Kamala were running against him. Is that there's a very shallow, scared, weak men that are scared of women, and that basic tenement right there got in the way of what happens. Because you know what's going to happen if a female president of the United States happens. There will be more love and humility and tender nurturing of the society instead of this weird, I want to declare the Defense Department the War Department, and all this bowing up, all this fake ass toxic masculinity that is like actually like really small penis energy. Like if Hillary or Kamala had gotten the proper chance to be the president, like they should have, the world would have been going in a much more benevolent equality kind of place. And the powers that be, the oligarchs, the very rich people don't want that. They want Trump to be able to be tearing people apart and making things confusing so that they can rob us blind by not paying taxes and getting all this crazy like stuff that's happening now. So it's just really corrupted and messed up. And it's not necessarily the people that in power are the oligarchs, the people, and it's just like in Russia. It's the same system as Russia at this point. The United States and Russia have a lot in common at this point. And if Americans want to know what's next with this tyranny and this fucked up shit, just look and see what they do in Russia and understand that Trump's playbook is Putin's playbook at this point. And, there are people still fighting in Russia. In fact, I would say the same thing for the people of Russia that are anti-Putin and are fighting the system over there. We have solidarity for you guys too, because in the end, there are the people that are oppressed and the people in societies that are having to live with this kind of stuff. It's messed up, and we should all be on the same page and for each other. It's not Russian versus American versus Canadian versus European. It's none of this shit. That's the lies they fed us. It's us against the oligarchs. It's us against the power structure. It's us against those that will set the system up to subjugate us all and rob us blind at the top. And they just wanted to confuse it, whether it's black versus white, gay versus straight, whatever, immigrant versus native person. It's all bullshit and it's all distraction. The whole problem this whole time has been that ruling class at the top manipulating things. And in some ways, they want to make a new age where there's nothing to do with democracy. Trust me, nothing to do with democracy. In fact, we basically all become a prison society, a surveillance, and they add more prisons and more police and more ICE, and they take way more people to jail. And they take people to jail just for disagreeing with them. And there's nothing in that that's freedom. There's nothing in that that's a free society. It's all farce at that point, man. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Nako saying I'd go ease Missy if I was targeting someone. I haven't seen Missy enough to really kind of get on the train with him. I just like the natural relationship of Scotty and Sharp, and I feel like that would make it an easy transition, and he would fit right away. Like there may be questions with other guys because they're unknown, But the fact that Day'Ron Sharpe is like this with Scotty Barnes, that means that is a pretty safe bet that he's going to work out with the Raptors if we acquired him from the Nets. So that's why I put him at the top of the list. It could very well be Yves Missy has a higher ceiling and he's younger and he's going to go and do more important things down the road. But in some ways, it's not about that. It's not necessarily getting the most talented guy for this position. It's about getting the right fit to not upset the fit we already have with our overall team right now. That's why I'm a huge advocate of Day'Ron Sharpe becoming a Toronto Raptor. You know, I did the same thing before the draft with Jonathan Mobo. I told the Raptors, I'm like, get Jonathan Mobo. It's Scotty's best friend. Put him on the team with Scotty and see what kind of good things happen. And they did that. We got Jonathan Mobo, and he's on the team to this day. And the vibes and the feelings and the specialness of Scotty getting to play with one of his best friends since he was a little kid is really a good thing. It's a really good thing. It's the same thing like those bonds but from before, like RJ and AJ. These guys have known each other since they were little kids. They played on teams with each other in middle school. So it's like AJ Lawson, RJ Barrett sitting on the bench with each other. It's just a joy. It's just kind of like, wow, look at where we're at, man. Remember when we were 12 and we used to be playing on the west side of Toronto and all this kind of stuff? You know, that's the kind of stuff that's just priceless. So Day'Ron coming in would be another one of these kind of additions because he's like that with Scott. I'm telling you right now, Day'Ron Sharpe and Scott are this close. He's one of his best friends. So that's why I tell Raptors Nation, we should be going for Sharpe because there's so many good already coming in pre-programmed into the whole situation. Scotty knows him and he knows Scott. I'm just saying, man. Yeah, let's keep going. All right, let's see. Superfan saying Caribbean night is officially back via Raptors, February 5th. Adriana, you hear that? Monique is saying that it is Caribbean night on February the 5th. Well, she likes to go to that game. You going to go to that game with Wendy? Okay. Yeah, it's a good night. It's always a fun night. They usually win. That's right. Fierce's putting Monique on blast. I love that. And J-Man TV, good morning, 647. Thank you for the sub. He's clapping. He's saying, great message. I was looking to hear about the Raptors, and I hear the end of a damn good sermon on this Sunday. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you know, I just you know, I'm not filtered here. Like Fred, I'm unguarded, and I can't help but speak how I feel on things. And some people say, don't do politics, don't do religion, don't do that stuff. And I'm saying, man, we got to. It's like that's part of the gatekeeping on keeping people disconnected is not getting on the same place and realizing just how much we have in common. I don't care if people are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever religion, Hindu, whatever. We all have the same basic needs as human beings, and we all want the same stuff in a lot of ways too. And you know, we have way more in common than the things they distract us and tear us apart on. That's right, man. That's right. He's saying my little bro keeps going on and on about Scotty Barnes, and I've been saying they need another star on the perimeter out of the draft. Man, I feel pretty good about our contingency right now. You know, RJ is a star. Brandon is a star. I think that in some ways we could market our team as on some ways having a 3 superstar team. That on the download, nobody wants to say that about the Raptors. You know, in some ways, we're not trying to have the superstar model like the Heat or the Celtics with Garnett and Allen and Pierce. No, we're not trying to do that, but we did do it by accident, it seems like, with Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Scotty Barnes. Those guys are 3 top-level scorers in this league, and they all fit together on our team, and they're such different looks that it makes the Raptors very powerful right now. I think on the down low, we are a superstar 3. I think we are. I think we should be able to say that. If anybody's going to say we don't have the 3rd superstar, well, then you're sliding RJ. You're sliding RJ and the work he's done and who he is at this point into his career. I mean, and then you expand on that. I mean, Emmanuel's not that far off from being a superstar. If he's more consistent, he could be on that tier too at certain points. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what we need, J-Man. To be honest, I feel like we're good. We don't need anybody through the draft. We don't need anybody from free agency or trade either. I feel like we just need to go forward with our guys and figure out as they develop, they're young, and we're good. We're good. We need another big. We do need another big, I will admit that. But other than that, I don't know how much more we need. Seriously. And we'll see how time goes when we get closer to striking for the next championship for the Toronto Raptors. We'll make the adjustments and we'll make that last move to get us over the finish line. Something like the Marc Gasol trade, getting a big like him at the end like that. I don't know what it'll be exactly. Maybe it is another scorer. Maybe it is another player like this or that. But we're not in that stage with striking distance to Larry O'Brien this year. It's not realistic that we're going to win the championship this year, but it could very well start being more realistic next year, is what I'm saying. So we got to see. We got to see. That's right. That's right. Nameless is saying, if Dayron is not a member of the Raptors come trade deadline, I'm going to storm City Hall. Who's with me? That's not the reason to storm City Hall. Do it because of the situation in the United States. Do it for that. Yeah. No, we don't want to get upset about this. If it happens, it's great. If it doesn't, well, that's life, right? That's life. Let's see. Incite a little violence over here. Yeah, that's not even fun to joke about right now, man. Like even like that. You say you're joking like that, but that action might need to be necessary at some point. So don't joke about it, man. We don't need to joke anything into existence, Plumber. That's right. Fiercely saying RJ and AJ, RJ and Mamu, RJ and IQ, etc. Yeah, there's a lot of good ties that bind between different players on our team of prior relationships. Mamu has known RJ since they were 16. Emmanuel and RJ obviously are very close. If Emmanuel's buying RJ a 9 pendant, it's good, man. It's good. Trevor saying this: God says the enemy of the people will get defeated by the hands of the people. His words never go on void, always come to pass. Yeah, yeah. I believe in this. In some ways, like I said, I wasn't the most religious person most of my life, but I more and more understand that in some ways, like the teachings of Christ and the Bible and stuff like that, sure, some of that's like fire and brimstone, some of this and that, but some of that is just absolute truths about power, about humility, and about the right being the right person, being a good person. Because that's really what it is the Bible supposed to teach you how to live your life so that you live in the way that God and Jesus would approve, right? Right? And, I truly believe in what Trevor's saying, that the higher power that people believe in, whatever religion you are, that will work things out and things will get worked out. Even if the humankind decimates itself from this planet, the life force of God or the creator will live on after us and whatever survives after us. So it's going to win either way. It's just whether we want to live jiving with the natural life force of the natural world, our environment, the trees, the animals. If we're the problem, if we're the sickness, if we're the disease in the system, we'll be purged. And that could be in cataclysm with hurricanes and earthquakes and stuff like that. That could be with just us killing ourselves off because of stupid war and doing some dumb things, or just not taking care of this planet with climate change and temperatures change. And all of a sudden there's mass death because our planet is not inhabitable because we weren't responsible with the planet that we've been created to have by the creator. And it's just like, well, you ruined it. Why'd y'all do this? I made you a paradise. I made you a perfect place for you to live, but you squandered it. You abused it. You exploited it. And you got to this point where you were so greedy that you sacrificed the future for your children and the people after you for your own short-term gain right now. It's crazy, man. I mean, this deep stuff. It's very, very deep stuff, man. Very, very deep stuff. But God will work it out in the end. It's just that, do we want to be a part of that? Because we'll kill ourselves off if we're not careful. We will. J-Man saying, I'm shocked the Raptors are this good, but I don't know if it's because the East is weak, but I'm very surprised. I'm not shocked. J-Man, you can go and see the receipts. Last June, I was saying the Raptors would be a top 4 team in the East. I know I keep saying this, but in some ways I have to reiterate this because it's true. No, I believed in them because I know how good Brandon is before he came to us. And a lot of people forgot how good he was. And when you add a player like him, especially a student of the game who's really figured out the way to fit with us very well, we're going to be better. When you have that kind of weapon, all of a sudden, that guy that's so good on offense, we're going to be better. And I forecasted and I believed in it. Everybody was like this with their ears, like, no, 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 I don't want to believe the Brandon Ingram's a Raptor and how good he's going to be for them. No, 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 I don't want to look at it. I don't care. I don't believe in them. I don't think they're going to be good. That's why you didn't think they're going to be that good, because the tainted message from the press and people not taking the full account of who Brandon Ingram is and respecting it and adding him to the Raptors roster for the season. You know, if you're not biased against the Raptors, you could have seen it clearly. I'm not saying you are, but the press is, and they feed the things that Raptors fans believe. They just follow them, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't listen to press, honestly. But I looked clearly with my own eyes, my analytical basketball assumptions, and I thought, no, the Raptors are better than this, man. They're going to be a home court advantage team in the playoffs this year. I said that last summer, way before it came true, and everybody's like, "Whoa, this is just so unexpected." Not to me. I saw this. It's just that, the press were telling us and gaslighting us and making it seem like, "Oh, the Raptors, I don't understand them. They're probably a play-in team. Yeah, maybe even not even in the playoffs. Yeah, let's just say that." I'm like, "That's not mathing with my math. Brandon's healthy. He's playing for the Raptors. We're top 4 Eastern team." You could ask, is it the East is weak? I don't know. I think that the East and the West are different ecosystems. You got a very defensive, physical East, and you got a more wide open, talented kind of scoring West. And well, when those two kind of styles collide, who wins more often? I don't know. We've been doing pretty good against the Western teams lately as a top Eastern team. So I don't know. The bias, some people will just say, no, the Western Conference is better than the Eastern Conference. It's just how it is. And I wouldn't disagree with them. It's probably true. But on a case-by-case basis, every night there is Eastern teams playing Western teams usually, and you get to see the chance of who's better than what on at least that individual matchup for that night. That's right. It's different teams. You know what I'm saying? Superfans Most saying, you missed one of my comments, Lex. What did I miss? Let me see. Where are you? Oh, yeah, here we go. You said, so Lex, that Tyrese Hunter is 905 is meh. Yeah, we talked about him a little bit yesterday. I gave him one of the stars of the game because I didn't have anybody to give stars to, honestly. Yeah, he's bad. I didn't like him either. He's undersized. He doesn't seem like he seems sloppy. Like when he stepped out of bounds, I was like, oh my gosh. Because like that game, he wouldn't even have to be anywhere near the out of bounds. There was no defender near him. He just stepped out and turned the ball over carelessly. Yeah, he's a replacement player. It's obvious that we didn't have enough players to play Long Island Nets on Friday night, and they had to call in somebody at the last minute, and he showed up, and he threw on a jersey. Yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be around, Monique, Tyrese Hunter on the Raptors 905. If Jarkel's back for tomorrow's game, maybe they don't need Tyrese Hunter, and he's just gone all of a sudden because they do that for G League games. They'll have a replacement guy that just comes in for a second just to help you to have the minimum amount of players to play the game. And that's kind of where they were on Friday night with that. That's kind of where they were. I guess that's the message I missed right there, right? Let's see. Nameless is saying, in my opinion, RJ and Scotty are probably the only untouchable players on the roster. Hate it or love it. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I don't think RJ should be like even thought about to trade. I really believe that. I would trade Brandon before I'd trade RJ. Yeah, I'd trade Emmanuel before I trade RJ. I think that's about right. Scotty and RJ are my two most priority kind of guys that I don't want going anywhere. Colin's probably third. Colin's probably third right now. I say that, yeah. Nameless saying, I dare to say RJ will retire a Raptor. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. That would be fantastic, man. That'd be fantastic, because I know he'd like that. He really does love playing for us. There's so much joy in him from playing for his hometown team, for playing for the team that he watched when he was a kid in his market. Yeah, he had dreams of playing for the Raptors, and he does. Nobody should be trying to take that away from him. That's right. It's political. It's political. J-Man saying, I'm a total outcast, a Black American Canadian progressive believer who feels the church has been corrupted. Yeah, I mean, organized religion has been abused and used in really bad ways that can make people turned off from it, for sure. And in some ways, I feel like it's more pure in some ways to have your own spirituality separate and individual and independent. It's good to be in a flock and have community and be around a group that has similar ideas and go to a church and stuff like that. But sometimes it's not the best environment, and it's not exactly lining up with how you feel on certain things, you know. But yeah, man, you know what? If you're an outcast, you feel like one, this is your channel, man, because we have open arms for everybody here. As far as if you love the Raptors in a positive way, that's the only prerequisite. If you are for the Raptors and you're not a toxic fan that's trying to criticize the guys and come after them and just not be a supportive fan, then you can get in trouble here. But other than that, that's the only prerequisite, pretty much, for the most part. That's right. That's right. Nameless saying God is continuously imagining new life everywhere. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how it'll fix things. Like there's certain kinds of algae and different plants that will clean up our mess. If there's an oil slick somewhere because we're stupid and a tanker gets hit or something like that, and it dumps all this oil into the environment that's absolutely bad for it. Well, there are plants that will come around and clean it up naturally because there are answers in nature for almost everything, even radioactivity, all kinds of stuff. Those little roly poly bugs, the little pill bugs that roll up into a ball, the little gray ones. Those things actually eat like metals, like heavy metals in our soil. And it could be like toxic heavy metals. Those things are actually cleaning that shit up and making the world better. So there's all kinds of stuff out there. People are like, don't have microorganisms, don't have bacteria, don't have this kind of stuff. It's bad. No, it isn't. It's actually the stuff that regulates the world and makes the world healthier because it's the natural balance of what's been created to clean the shit up. And that's why I'm like, man, I want bacteria. I want all kinds of interesting microorganisms and different things in my yard because the more of that kind of stuff proliferates and there's abundance and a vast diversity of, the more healthier my yard is. More bugs, more different kinds of dragonflies, more different kinds of birds. It all adds up and stacks up because it's all interconnected. That's right. It's all interconnected. That's right. J-Man saying our planet is inhabitable because of industrialization by big corporations and the U.S. military. Watch Abby Martin about the Pentagon being the enemy of humanity. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with any of this stuff right here. I feel like the biggest driver of most of the problems in this world is corporations and the prison and military industrial complex. And they're just the whole idea of people are cattle and we don't need to look at them as humans or individuals. They're just a big, huge commodity like manpower, people, the workforce. This is all the same kind of stuff. I totally look at it that way. Yeah. Good Game saying the open gym episode was great. Team chemistry at 10,000%. Yeah. It's fantastic, man. I'm really loving this team and the vibes, and we can see how good it is. Yeah. Yes. Enemy of planet Earth. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. J Man saying the irony is that since the 90s, the first time the East was better than the West in over 20 years was in 2019. But you're very right. Different ecosystems. The East is always gritty. The West was fugazi. I'm 23 and 24. And 23 and 24. Yeah, I mean, it's changed at different times. The Eastern Conference, you could say it was maybe more powerful in the days of Jordan and the Knicks and the Pistons and the Celtics in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, you could say that maybe. And then like Shaq and Kobe, that era into, Spurs also. The Spurs were very powerful for that era of Popovich. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that they're both very different. I mean, I'm not gonna make it an East Coast, West Coast kind of thing like Biggie and Tupac or any of that kind of crap. Nah, this is just basketball, and I like that there's two different styles to a degree in the two conferences because they're both fun styles at different times, and it's kind of fun to see them clash and see which one will win at different times. I think it's good for the NBA that there's an Eastern style and a Western style. I think that it's good. J-Man saying, if you want to talk religion, spirituality, and politics on a basketball channel, talk about the direction of the league and that Luka AD trade was political, business, and spiritual in a dark way. Oh, for sure. We definitely talked about that when it happened. We thought it was completely a sham. I felt so bad for the Mavericks nation in the years since the forced trade of Luka to the Lakers. I really look at it as Adam Silver wanted to shake up and make the league fresh because he saw the ratings were dipping. And, a really good way to invigorate interest in the NBA was to trade Luka like that. I don't believe that the Mavericks wanted to do that totally, and the NBA mandated that trade. And I feel like Nico Harrison should have been fired right away. I feel like the ownership of the Mavericks is all screwed up now that Mark Cuban sold his team. And in some ways, I wish he was still owning the team. There's a lot to it. And we can even go deeper on the ownership of the Mavericks and talk about how problematic they are. For sure, man. Yeah, it was very political, for sure. And I was expecting them to do another one of these deals in the middle of the season just to shake it up. I guess Trae Young to the Wizards. Is that the shakeup move this year? I guess. I don't know. J-Man saying, I'm a supporter, but warning, I'm from Chicago. Yeah, I was around during those days in Chicago. I'm an 80s and 90s kid, so that's where most of my arrogance or irritation at the new NBA will be coming from. We're in the right place. We're old heads here. I was a Bad Boys Pistons fan before the Raptors came into existence. And so, I mean, I'm a child of the 80s too. And I watched a lot of NBA back then with Magic and Bird and Michael. And yeah, I wasn't a Bulls fan, but I respected and loved the work that the Bulls did with the 2 3-peats. And I'm a huge Dennis Rodman fan. So I got on board with you guys for the second 3-peat because I was riding with Dennis. And when he was playing for the Bulls, I was a Bulls fan at that time. Just because he was one of my favorite players. But yeah, that informs me a lot about the kind of fan you are. And man, the excellence and just, Jordan, I have so much respect for. I look at Jordan as being the GOAT. It's not LeBron. I'm definitely an old head that believes that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. Definitely. Definitely. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. J-Man saying also, but I'm a Chicagoan and I'm a true Toronto Patriot and believe in us. And that includes the Raptors. There you go. I like that, man. I like that, man. Yeah, we've got different people around the country. We've got Trevor down in Florida. We got Paul, who's in Wisconsin. We got a Raptor Freak in Philly. We got Bryce in Kentucky. We got people all over the country and all over the world, in fact, watching this channel, and they're Raptor Freaks too. So welcome, J-Man. I appreciate you being here and holding it down for us in Chi-Town. That's right. That's Fred Van Vliet stomping grounds in Illinois there, Rockville. That's right. That's right. Superfan Most saying Mike Roach podcast has always been great to me, not new to me. Yeah, I don't think it's new either. But before it was Hustle Play Podcast, right? With Chris Boucher. Yeah, when he was doing that, I was sad to see that show go away. No, Mike Roach I'm just saying this recently because he's recently done this, Monique, where he's been pulling out all the announcers for the Raptors and doing amazing content with them. The biggest thing I love about what Mike's doing is that he is a good source of information for Raptors fans to parrot and listen to because he's got Sherman and Paul and Leo and Matt and Jack and Alvin coming on there with learned opinions about the Raptors, giving astute analysis and saying things about the team that I wish the fans would hear. And they're educating the fans better because there's a lot of miseducating Raptors fans out there too. And Mike Roach and his podcast is doing a good job of making things right and getting the right stuff out there. And that's by elevating the voices of the broadcast crew that are experts and actually know what they're talking about when it comes to Raptors affairs. There's just so many podcasters out there like me, and I'm in that boat. I don't know what I'm talking about more than Jack Armstrong. I'll admit that. I don't have the ego to say that. I'm a fan. I'm not a journalist. I'm not on TV calling the game. I'm a fan that's sharing my passion for the Raptors with you guys because we share it. And, I love that Mike is giving a platform for these guys to espouse on their views and how they see the Raptors because it better informs Raptors Nation overall. And that Raptors fans should be watching them. Mike Roach podcast with Jack Armstrong instead of Bleacher Report, instead of Luca Rosano, instead of Penn State basketball, instead of all these jabronis out here talking this trash. Listen to the actual guys who know what they're talking about. Matt Devlin, Alvin Williams, and Sherman Hamilton, and the guys who actually cover the team and are paid to do it and do a good job doing it. Yeah, that's what I love. I mean, these guys teach us during the games. We've been learning from Leo and Jack for decades now. But to get the longer format of like a 45-minute conversation of Mike Roach and Jack Armstrong talking about the team, you get more in depth, nuts and bolts, more good stuff out of Jack because he can espouse on it longer than just a little brief transitionary period between the ball coming up and down the court while Matt Devlin's calling the play-by-play. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love hearing Jack's opinions on where he sees the Raptors right now because he educates the people and he tells them this is how it actually is instead of other people coming in and filling in the blanks and trying to say, oh, the Raptors need a trade. The Raptors need this. They're in trouble. They need this. No, Jack Armstrong come in and say, I did not see the Raptors being this good this year. They've exceeded expectations and they're doing very well this year. You know, it's great. It's great. I love his podcast. He's been doing so good. I gave big credit to Mike Roach and wrote him a comment, and he said, thank you. So, yeah, respect Mike Roach. And I don't know if he watches or even knows the Raptor Freak is doing this here. I don't care. I'm not trying to promote myself, but I am congratulating him on his good work for sure. Nameless is saying this, got to get yourself a bat house up there, Lex. Another fantastic addition. I'm totally into this, and we've talked about it. In some ways, I kind of do have a bat house. There was a bat living all over my porch up in the thing, but I haven't seen it in a little while. But yeah, I'm definitely about that. And since I took down the spruce tree that was in the middle of my yard, it was dominating the area. I think I'll have better opportunities to put up a bat house with the right kind of because they need to fly in from the south to the north. There's a lot of weird rules about bats and how they like to have their house situated. So I think I've got it in the right way now that I could maybe put a bat house up this year, honestly, because it's really good for eating pests. You know, I didn't cut my yard until July last year almost. Like I went a whole year, the first year, I don't cut my yard. I just let it naturally grow. And I don't have neighbors that are going to get mad at me and like call the homeowners association and get mad at me. No, because I'm out in the wilderness. I'm in the country. And I love seeing it grow like that and just seeing all the buzzy energy. And, you know, other people in other yards, they cut their lawn and they do it monoculture and they have mosquitoes like crazy. I don't have mosquitoes. I don't cut the yard and it naturally builds the things that will eat the mosquitoes. Like if you have mosquitoes in your yard at your place this summer, it's probably because you're cutting your yard too much. And if you allow the things that naturally hunt the mosquitoes to thrive in your yard, they'll take care of the mosquitoes for you. And that's like birds, dragonflies, all kinds of different insects will eat the mosquitoes for you, and you won't have to worry about them. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Let's see. Blackhawks here. He's got the disguise on. J-Man saying, I hated the Pistons. They brought me many childhood tears. That was the test for the Bulls at that time, was to get past the Pistons. The Pistons had their number. And then when the Bulls finally beat the Pistons, it was epic, and it led to their first three-peat. So, yeah, those were battles, man. Joe Dumars versus Michael Jordan. Yeah, that was something, wasn't it? That was something, man. Those were battles. Those were battles, yeah. Yeah, Superfan Mo's bringing up something. I didn't bring this up, so we will talk about this. Did we bring up Dylan Brooks disrespecting DeMar? I was so pissed. Yeah, I saw that clip of Villain Dylan, our Team Canada guy, who's on this book also. We see him right here. And in some ways, it's apropos to talk about him when RJ's playing SGA on a NBA Sunday. Dylan Brooks is saying that to be a villain. I'm going to say that right now. In some ways, look, we know he's from the Greater Toronto area. We know that he's familiar with the history of the Raptors. In some ways, that's totally uncalled for what he said about DeMar. He did not have to say that. I'm wondering if he's playing Sacramento anytime soon on the schedule. They've already played them 3 times and swept them so far this year. They'll play them one more time near the end of the season. So it's not head games. It's not Dylan Brooks trying to piss off DeMar for a competitive edge in a basketball game coming up. It's just a shots fired, a straight bullet that's not even fair to DeMar. I hate that shit. In some ways, I wish Dylan hadn't said that. And it kind of, yeah, it pissed me off too. Because in some ways, it's like, look, I feel like he's just stirring the pot. He's playing his character. Because he had a couple of different like things he said right around that little thing that were controversial. It's like he's trying to be controversial. And that, you know, in some ways, that's how he gets headlines and gets notoriety and has his persona. Very much like a Ron Artest or a Dennis Rodman before him. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like Dennis Rodman saying things about Larry Bird and being white and stuff like that. It's kind of like that kind of stuff. He's just being controversial. He's shooting his mouth off. In some ways, it's extremely disrespectful to DeMar. And I don't stand with him on his opinion. But also, Dylan's going to be Dylan, right? That's part of it. It's sad that he said that. In some ways, he didn't need to say that. I would argue that DeMar DeRozan and his work building up the Toronto Raptors franchise to get to that point to go get the championship in 2019 was essential, and I appreciate him for it, even if he didn't get to enjoy the spoils of the victory. So, yeah, have some respect, Dylan Brooks. And if I'm going to come against Aubrey for being anti-DeMar, I'm going to do it towards you too, because you don't supersede him, even though you're a countryman and he is a Compton man. Nah. He did the ultimate sacrifice to help the Raptors get the championship. You respect that. You're not Raptors Nation, Dylan Brooks. So I understand why you don't care about that. Yeah, it pissed me off too. Most giving me my cutoff. W stream, W vibes. All right, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak Cruise, strong forever. Just help me limit the comments. I appreciate you, Mo. I appreciate you being a producer on this channel and being a good friend. I really do. And Wayne saying good morning. And Blackhawk saying Dylan has no off switch. And it's cool with me. We can't always be holding hands in the league. Sometimes you have to generate beef. It's sports. Yeah, I think that's part of what this is. In some ways, it's a stray bullet that didn't need to be fired in any kind of way. In some ways, in my book, it makes him look worse. To me, it makes Dylan look bad and catty. Kind of like, why? Why are you saying this? Why do you have to do this? There is a lot of people in Raptors Nation that have the belief that Dylan espoused. And in some ways, I don't look at them as true Raptors fans because they don't necessarily understand just how important DeRozan is to our history and how we became the North, the culture. Well, he's an essential pillar of building that with Masai Ujiri, Dwayne Casey, and Kyle Lowry. That all four of those guys were essential for that. I'm serious. And Coach Casey, just like DeRozan, he deserves a lot of credit too, man. He does, for sure. All right, let me see. Happy birthday, guys. We're going to say happy birthday to Tim Kempton. Tim Kempton was a Raptor let's see. He was a Raptor in 1997, 98. He is turning 61 today. Former professional basketball player Tim Kempton Sr., his son Jr. is playing right now in his career. So, yeah, happy birthday to little-known Raptor, Tim Kempton. That is our birthday for today, 61 years old for Tim Kempton. All right, get your lineup set up. It's the last day of the week in your fantasy league, Yahoo Fantasy League. So get your lineup set up. Do we have any close games today? Let me see. It looks like things are pretty spread out, and it looks like it's looking like Nins is going to win, Amit, HC, Jason Dukes, Fiercey, MK, James, and myself are online to win this week. That's right. All right, let's do the classic card. And we're getting close to being done here. Alan Tam, bam, son. Trade for Sabonis? No, sir. No, sir. We ain't doing that. Oh, this is interesting. All right, we'll do this one. All right, this is interesting. First person to write the full name answer for the classic card will get the classic card points. And we are not trading for Sabonis. Yeah, it frees you out, Alan Tam. Bam, son. Frozen. That's right. Frozen. No Sabonis. No, thank you. That's right. Fiercey's got the official status here. Bam, son. All right, bam, son. Tell me who this is, guys. Maybe you forgot who he is by now. Maybe not. Full name answer. It's not that classic, but it's not totally current. That's for sure. It's not totally current. In fact, I'm not even sure. Where is this guy right now? Yeah, that's right, Fiercey. That is the guy who's been sitting outside the league right now, Malik Beasley. That's right, because of incrimination. And nobody picking him up since. So, yeah, Fiercey's going to get the classic card today. It's a 100-point card. It's pretty recent. And, yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with Malik Beasley. I wonder if he has a lawsuit just in case he does come out as being, like, not guilty. Because that's one thing about this whole thing with the gambling allegations and different people is, like, are they guilty? Or if they're not guilty, well, did you just ruin their career? It's kind of like that. Ja Morant is hurt. Yeah, Ja's out. He's going to be out past the trade deadline. A lot of people are saying, these guys are damaged goods. Like, who the hell is going to want to trade for Ja Morant or Anthony Davis at this point? Seriously, who's going to want them at this point? All right, we're at an hour and a half. I guess I'm pretty much done, guys. Unless you guys have any more questions or comments, I'll do the rundown, and we'll get out of here. Just real quick, let's see if there's any updates on the Raptors injury list. We saw Emmanuel was added to the list this morning. He is questionable due to ankle soreness. So Emmanuel Quickly is day-to-day questionable for the game tonight. So he wasn't on the injury list last night. He got added this morning. Jacoby Walter is more closer to returning. He is questionable, not ruled out for today due to his hip. And same thing for Colin Murray-Boyles. He is not ruled out. He is questionable due to his thumb. Jakob is ruled out, and so is Chucky. But otherwise, nobody else on there. RJ is playing tonight. So there you go. RJ, Scotty, and Brandon will be out there. You know what I've been doing lately during Raptors games? Darko puts out such different combinations of players in his rotations. I like to make the name up every time the combinations are out there. Like if we have Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly out there, it's a barbecue lineup. So when we started Brandon and Barbecue and Mamu, I was calling it the notorious Barbecue Mamu Kelishvili. Like it sounds like a kebab or something like that. So yeah, I like making up these weird, goofy lineup names depending on who's on the court. And if Grady's out there, well, you can put the word Dick in the combination of the name. Like say it's the notorious Barbecue Dick or something like that. Anyway, just dumb things I've been doing at the house while I'm watching the game. So yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully Emmanuel's playing tonight. On the other side of things, there are injuries for Oklahoma City also. Thomas Sorber is out. Nikola Topic is out. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, the all-star, the good Jalen Williams, he is out. Isaiah Hartenstein is out. He will not play today. Alex Caruso is out. He will not play. Aaron Wiggins is questionable. And A.J. Mitchell will not play today also. So, yeah, a lot of guys out. As far as important players, iHeart, J-Dub, and Alex Caruso are out. The matchup predictor for ESPN's predicting the Thunder will win 80%, 81% chance they'll win in this game tonight, just so y'all know. Referees for today's game, Carl Lane is the crew chief. We are 4-0 this season with him, and he favors the Raptors, guys. Brett Bernecki is the second ref. We're 3-0 this season with Brett Bernecki. He favors the Thunder. And Jenna Schroeder is the third ref tonight. We're 2-0 with Jenna Schroeder this year so far, and she favors the Thunder also. So the ref crew is not that bad, honestly. I think it'll be pretty fair. Carl Lane is a great ref for the Raptors. He's been a great ref, very fair to us. I appreciate him for it. So, yeah, that's basically it, guys. There's your ref crew. I guess the keys to the victory, the path to win, to the advice of the game to help you to win the Raptors game, the Raptors, is I don't know. We got to figure out how to contain SGA. Is it one of these things where we're going to let SGA just get his and stop everybody else? Or are we going to have a really strong, determined plan by Coach Darko to slow down Gilgeous-Alexander and try and actually limit him for once? Because in some ways I could see the plan being let Gilgeous-Alexander get his, but stop everybody else. Maybe, I don't know. With iHeart out and their size not being completely, truly their normal size, maybe we have a chance with not having Jakob and possibly Colin too. So we'll just have to see how it goes tonight. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah, let's see. Nameless has filled it up a little bit here at the end. Let me just see what's here. No. G is saying all the major players and trade rumors got injured. Yeah, Ja, Giannis, and AD. Giannis is not really in a trade rumor anymore. It's funny. Fred brought this up on the latest Unguarded podcast. He brought up the Giannis trade rumors. He said they keep talking about how Giannis is going to get traded, but he doesn't want to go anywhere. Fred said this as the Players Association president. He says, I don't understand why they always bring up Giannis getting traded, because he's very much said over and over again he doesn't want to get traded and leave Milwaukee. That's interesting to me. I mean, it's manufactured crap. Seriously, Giannis does not want to leave Milwaukee. He's not demanding a trade. And Milwaukee, do you think they're just going to trade him just because the other teams in the league want him traded? No, they want to keep Giannis too. So a lot of the malarkey around Giannis Antetokounmpo getting traded is absolutely malarkey. Because first of all, he would want to have to get traded and the team would want to have to trade him. And neither one of those is true. So everything you hear about Giannis is bullshit. He's not trying to go anywhere. If it happens, I may believe something like J-Man saying that the NBA forced a trade to put Giannis on a different team, like Luka going to the Lakers. That's what I would say would be that. Yeah. Alan's saying the Raptors waived Mo Bamba. They did. That was like a month ago, bro. What are you doing, man? They did waive Mo Bamba a while back. Yeah. Kareem's saying Dylan Brooks just doesn't like DeMar. They both got ejected last year in a heated foul situation. Things are just spilled over to this year. Dylan just being a villain. Don't think much of it. You know, in some ways, he's cocky to talk shit because he is showing he's a winning factor on teams, whether he went on Memphis to Houston to Phoenix. And I think that's the most dramatic one. The fact that he's got the Suns near the top of the Western Conference instead of Kevin Durant. You switched Kevin Durant out for Dylan Brooks, and the Suns are better for it. That's amazing to me. That's amazing. In some ways, he has the swaggy confidence and cockiness that he can walk with that because he's a proven winning commodity in this league, villain Dylan Brooks. And that's part of the reason why Team Canada wins with him, too. That's right. That's right. Nameless is saying the reason the Raptors are involved in every apparent trade rumor is because the league is pushing the narrative that Toronto is a desperate enough an organization to do it. Propaganda from the league. Yeah, it's just like insert, put them in here. Because trade rumors are damaging in some ways. I mean, a lot of it is just bullshit and hot air. And if you don't really pay attention, but they can be damaging. And if they don't really care about damaging the Raptors or hurting things for the Raptors, they'll overuse us in this kind of talk. For sure. For sure. He's exactly right. Name was the same. We're sitting pretty at third. Do we look desperate? I don't know if we're technically third right now. New York did win yesterday, and they took the third spot back. And we're fourth at this point again. So we're right there. We're close to him, though. Is this what desperation looks like? I don't think so. No, our desperation is that we're busting our ass on the court, playing all out for Coach Darko, and we're winning. That is our desperation right there. That's right. Alan Tamstam, trade for Chris Boucher. He might rejuvenate his career back with the Raptors. We need big man help with Pirtle and Boyles out. Yeah, I don't consider Chris Boucher a big in some ways at this point. In his career, he's more like a 3. He's more like a weird wing at this point. I don't know if he'd help us with this. That's why I was saying Day'Ron Sharp. Nameless saying, Alan, I could already answer that one for Alex if you like. If you like. It's all right. It's all right. Alan's, it's good to see Alan back in the chat, man. Kareem saying this, when we win tonight, it will be such a boost of morale. Perfect timing for when we face the Knicks in Orlando. SGA style getting tiresome. He plays to get fouled and falls when you breathe on him. Yeah, I'm not anti-SGA. I'm not like calling him a free throw merchant. He's badass. He's very good, and I respect the work he does and how he does it. And I know for sure that Scotty feels the same way because I seen him on Twitch break down SGA's game and how he feels about it. He was watching highlights of him one day. He said straight up to us on Twitch, he said, I don't understand why everybody says that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a foul merchant or he's just like trying to bait fouls all the time. That dude is good. Like he is doing it the right way. What he's doing is not like, and this is Scotty's expert opinion on the NBA, being Scotty. He's saying, no, this guy's really good. Like he's not a foul baiter. He deserves these foul calls. Trust me, as an NBA player, he's not hating on what he's doing. This is the words out of Scotty's mouth about how he views him. Sure, there's a lot of fans out there that love that narrative that Kareem's pushing. In fact, he's a Denver fan, and a lot of Denver fans push this shit. That's what it is that they like they're the biggest proponents of pushing the SGA foul merchant bullshit is Nuggets Nation. They are. They're the ones putting this shit out there because they see him rivaling Jokic for MVPs and maybe being the best player in the league. And their proactive defensive way of dealing with this is that Nuggets Nation promotes SGA foul merchant propaganda very, very much. And that's what Kareem's doing right here. I'm calling you right on it right here with your Nuggets Nation card, putting this bullshit in here. Nah, man, this man's Canadian and this man's a treasure. And this man is the MVP of the league. And this man does it the right way because Scotty told me he does. And I'll believe Scotty over haters from Nuggets Nation that are hating on the great Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's right. In some ways, I don't care if we lose today because there's no shame in losing to the defending champions and a record like that and how badass this team is. But I'd love to beat them too because I know if the Raptors beat the Thunder today, like I said earlier, you're getting more eyes on you, more spotlight, more credibility, more attention from the league in general, and they're more bona fide for it. So we need, if we win today, oh yeah, we need to get more attention. And Scotty needs to get more praise and more, kind of consideration for awards for this season, is what I say. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody watching me today. I hope y'all have a great day. Let's get this win tonight, Raptors. Let's think positive thoughts. Let's speak good energy and life into this world. And let's fight the evil out there by being the beacon of light and hope and justice and togetherness that we need in this world now more than ever. The powers that be will tell us that we're different and we should hate each other. And that's just not the truth. So see through the lies and understand that we're in this together and we are more powerful than them. And that's why they do it this way. Because if they don't divide and conquer us, they won't be able to conquer us. So let's not get divided. Let's stay together and we'll fix this shit. Because the power of the people, this is the stuff of Public Enemy albums that came out in the early 90s. This is what we're doing now. Rage Against the Machine, hell yeah. That album, now more than ever, is what I'm saying right now. That's right. Raptors win tonight. Let's go, Isaac. Thank you, man. SGA is a beast. That's right, Alan Tam. Oh, Canada, my home and native land. Let's go, Raptors, and beat OKC today. Yeah, let's go. Raptors champions 2026. Let's go.